You're listening to the Sophie Martin Show on NEWHD Take 5, which is a platform that helps create jobs for autistic people, those with other disabilities, and veterans. Today we're joined by the UK's very own psych-beat sensation, Mark English of the Gold Needles. From the Cavern Club to their latest single, Turns to Gold, they've been crafting music that blends classic influences with a modern twist. Stay tuned as we dive into their journey, their sound, and what's next for the rising band. How did you know your new album was ready to record?
Oh, how did we know? Well, we write and record all the time. Funnily enough, the new album's coming out in December, but we've actually got enough tracks in the can for a follow-up album already, and we're still recording. So Monday this week we got together and we started work on a couple of new tracks. So we've we've always got projects on the go. So um, the album's been quite a long time in the making, but it's not because we're slow. We've just amassed a lot of material.
What inspired your song Turns to Gold?
Well, that's Simon. So Simon, our singer, um, we often collaborate, and it's very rare that somebody brings a song that's fully formed. But that one was. The band obviously called the Gold Needles. So with other tracks, we've got a track called 15 Gold Needles, and then a while ago he turned up with a song and said, "I've got this song, everything you touch turns to gold," which then morphed into Turns to Gold. And according to Simon, it's a bit of um, a conversation about the entertainment industry, about some of the murky waters that exist there. So he'll be able to tell you more, but I think that's the idea behind the track.
How do you mix your classic influences with your own sound?
Well, that's a really good question, that, because we all like different things. I think the commonality amongst the band is we're all really big Beatles fans, but we all like other things as well. Simon likes a lot of poppy stuff. He likes glam rock from the 70s. Dave, our lead guitarist, is a massive David Bowie fan, particularly the Ziggy Stardust era. Carl likes a huge variety of different things, and I'm more into. Although I'm a huge Beatles fan, I like Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, but I also like a lot of sort of new wave stuff. I play keyboards, so I like the Cars, I like the Stranglers, I like XTC, I like stuff like that. I like the Damned, and I think what happens is that all these different elements get woven into the songs, and it just makes them interesting. So you hear a little thing, you think, oh, that sounds a little bit like a keyboard bit that you'd hear in, I don't know, a Doors track, and then the guitar solo comes in, and you think, oh, that sounds like Thin Lizzy. So everything sort of welds together really nicely.
Why did you decide to record Supernature after all this time?
It's one of the first songs. That's another great question. It's one of the first songs that we wrote as a band. Simon and me have known each other a long time. In fact, all the members of the band we've known each other and worked with each other on and off over the years. But the band as the Gold Needles got together in 2015, and Supernature was one of the very first tracks that we wrote, and we recorded a really early sort of demo version of it 10 years ago, and we performed it live. So whenever we gigged, it would be like a staple in the set. And it was one of those, we got like a little bit of perverse enjoyment that we'd played this song live that we'd never formally recorded. And it just got to the point earlier this year that we thought, we're ready to actually put this down properly. And we're really pleased with the way it came out. And it's quite different from the other stuff that we do. Most of the stuff we do is quite power poppy, but Supernature is very more introspective, more acoustic, and then it builds to like a quite a big, grand finale at the end. Dave does a great guitar solo. It almost becomes like prog rock at the end. So a great song, but it just felt right after 10 years to actually commit it to tape and record it properly.
What has working with Big Stir Records been like for you?
Well, we've had a bit of a relationship with Big Star over the years, because prior to us actually releasing stuff with them, we've been friends with them for a long time. In fact, they used to run, or they used to publish a magazine, a Big Star magazine, which is a power pop magazine, which would come out, I think, quarterly. And they were publishing that right up until the pandemic in 2020. And I used to contribute to the magazine. So I like to write short stories. So I used to write short stories and contribute. So the Gold Needles were sort of represented rather than being in music, but in print. So I'd write fiction for the magazine. So we had sort of common friends. So there were other bands on the label that we were friends with. The main one being Spy Genius, who were from Canterbury, down in the south of England, and we've gigged with Spy Genius in the past. So we sort of had a loose relationship with Big Star. Um, After we left Gem Records, it just felt right for us to actually formalise that relationship with them and then start recording for them to start putting stuff out on their label for us.
What has been your most memorable live show so far?
I would probably say the first time we played at the Cavern. First time we played at the Cavern, we were so looking forward to it. We'd had to go. It was midweek. It was mid. I can't remember what time of year it was. It was midweek, and we'd all had to. We'd Hull to Liverpool is like going from one coast to the other coast. For us, it's a long way. In the US, you'd probably say, "Well, that's nothing." But the travel across on a sort of an evening, a tea time, it took us probably about 3 hours to get there. So it was all really rushed. You get there, you pull up outside, you go down the steps, and I'd been in the cavern before, so I knew what it was like. But to actually go in and go on that stage, and it's a tiny stage, and there's the arches, and then to get set up, and you don't really get a chance for a sound check. It's more of a line check more than anything else. But then to start playing and people being there who'd never seen you before, never heard you before, but getting into your music. And I remember we were doing I can't remember which song it was, but we were doing a song, um, and people were singing along. So they sort of picked up on the chorus really, really quickly. That's how musical the audience were. And just to sort of get that feedback from an audience so immediately in such a hallowed place was so for me that's probably my favorite Gold Needles gig, most memorable, definitely. Yeah.
What message or feeling do you want listeners to get from your music?
Oh, what message or feeling? I think music's one of those things that um, it has the power to light your imagination, and if people get something out of it, whether it's from a guitar riff or whether it's from a line in the lyrics that they connect with, then that's great. You get it when you go and see a live band. When you go and see a live band and it's a good gig, it's that feeling of connecting with other people. And if our music helps people sort of connect with it in any way, I think that's a great thing.
How do you usually write your songs, together or separately?
Oh, a bit of all sorts. I write a lot of lyrics. I write lots and lots of lyrics, and I'll give them to the band. And mainly Simon, he'll sit on things, and then suddenly out of the blue, like months later, he'll say, "Oh, do you remember this?" And he'll send a little demo through that he's recorded at home with an acoustic guitar. I'll say, "Oh yeah, that was that lyric for whatever." Um, so often like that. Dave, our lead guitarist, comes up with some great riffs and some great licks. So he'll say, "Oh, I've got this idea," and he'll just play it and we'll jam around with that. Sometimes Sam will come with a fully formed song. Very occasionally, we'll write a song together. But that doesn't happen very often. We do little bits and then we all put our own elements into it, and the song gets formed like that. So, for example, this week on Monday, we've started on two new songs, and they've both originated from lyrics that I've written fairly recently. Simon's come up with a basic song structure, and then we sort of build the song from there. So. We put the rhythm track down, we put the vocals down, and then I had the keyboards, we had the lead guitar in, and then the song sort of takes shape over a period of. Sometimes it can be really quick, sometimes it can take a little bit longer.
How do you keep up with changes in music and streaming today?
How do you keep up? I stream a lot. I suppose I'm more up with technology than the rest of them. The rest of them like CDs and vinyl. Although I still play vinyl all the time. I've got a big vinyl collection. I love my record player. I'll be honest. I'm not a big lover of Spotify. I tend to use Apple Music. I don't know. I again. I have a radio show. I have a weekly radio show with a friend of mine, and we tend to go back in time. We tend to find things from the past. Sometimes we do theme shows, but occasionally we'll do a show where we'll throw it open. We'll say, right, we'll do a modern show, and we'll ask bands to contribute. And you find we get sent loads and loads of stuff, and you get to hear things that ordinarily you wouldn't hear because they don't get played on the mainstream radio. So I sort of keep abreast of more modern stuff that way.
What are you most excited about for the end of 2025 and for 2026?
Definitely the release of the album. You know, we've been waiting for a while. We can't wait for it to come out. It's like having. I know people. It's a cliche, but it's like presenting your baby to the world. It's like this is our album. These are our tracks, and you sort of keep your fingers crossed that people are going to like it. It's the tracks that have been released as singles so far have been really well received. So hopefully the album will be well received as well. So we're really looking forward to the album coming out. Big Stare have been great to work with. They're incredibly supportive. The promotion they do is fabulous. And it would be nice then to be able to follow that up fairly quickly in 2026. So having, I mean, the last album came out in 2021. It's not that we've not done stuff in between. We've recorded a lot of stuff and we've done a lot of covers for our previous label. But it'd be nice to follow this album, Mood Elevator, up fairly swiftly with another album. Maybe in the autumn, the fall of 2026. So lots happening, lots of exciting stuff.
That's it for today's conversation with the Gold Needles here on the Sophie Martin Show, only on New HD Take 5. Be sure to check out their latest music and follow their journey. We can't wait to see what they do next. Thanks for listening, and keep your dial tuned for more great music and interviews right here on New HD Radio. You can also follow us on all social media platforms at New HD Radio, and be sure to visit our website, newhdmedia.com.